I think that if you knew me when I was younger, you would never expect that I'd ever be hit by mental illness. I was a normal, happy kid with dreams of growing up and becoming a mommy and a nurse and a ballerina and an astronaut, and going into space and discovering new things like aliens and a new planet or something. I would laugh and play, and I was just so happy and outgoing and a little bit crazy. And I didn't care much about what other people said. I was just happy with myself. People had said mean things to me before, but I had tried to let them roll off my shoulders. I was happy with myself, and I wasn't going to let anyone change that. Then 7th grade rolled around. The happy, loud, energetic, confident little girl began to disappear, and soon enough, I started to dislike myself. I wasn't pretty or skinny like all the other girls, so the small comments and actions really began to affect me. I could no longer let them roll off my shoulders like before. I began having the negative comments go round and around in my head, and they would just race, and they wouldn't leave me alone. I couldn't make them stop. I didn't know how to or who to turn to. I felt so alone. I began to hate myself. I just felt disgusted with what I saw in the mirror. I was just full of so much self-hate. I was down and upset, and to make matters worse, on December 24, 2011, my grandpa passed away. I couldn't take the emotional pain I was in. I was aching and aching everywhere all day and every day. I couldn't bear with the pain anymore. I didn't know what to do or who to turn to, so one night I took the first sharp object I could find, and I cut myself. I needed a physical release. I needed a way to cope, and self-harm is what I turned to. I started to wear long sleeves and change in the bathroom for gym class. I began to hide. I tried hiding the physical and emotional pain I was in, but it was just so hard. I developed bad eating habits as well. My whole world was just turning upside down. I began to feel hopeless, like there was no point to life anymore. What was I doing in a world where I felt like I didn't belong? I just wanted to end it. I wanted the calm. I wanted peace. I didn't see the point of being alive anymore. So in January 2012 was the first time I seriously contemplated suicide. And that was only the beginning of a long journey full of adversity and hardships. In the 8th grade, things weren't improving. My parents thought it was time to get professional help. There I was diagnosed with depression. We use depression all the time to describe feelings of temporary sadness. Oh, I'm so depressed. But are you really depressed? For someone battling depression, it's much more than something that you feel for a day or two. It can be a long battle, even lifelong. It isn't something you wake up with one day and the next day it's gone. I thought that by taking the medicine I was prescribed and going to therapy I'd be back to normal. I thought all it took were some pills and talking and I'd be better. But I was so wrong. Doctors don't always get it right the first time. Sometimes I'd feel better for a week, maybe even a month before I go crashing down, and each crash was worse than the previous. Soon 8th grade became freshman year, and I continued to struggle. Freshman year became sophomore year, and I thought this was finally going to be my year. But that wasn't the case. Early September 2014 was the first time I was admitted to a hospital for suicidal ideations. I spent 10 days there. Then November came, and again those suicidal thoughts just wouldn't leave me alone. They wouldn't stop. This time I was hospitalized for 6 days. I was also diagnosed with anxiety, which would explain the panic attacks. 2015 began, and I was sure this was finally going to be my year to do good. I was sure I had overcome this battle. I was just so sure of it. I thought my days in the hospital were over. I was just so wrong. March 3rd, again I was in the hospital for suicidal ideations, and 3 days after being discharged I returned to the hospital, this time for 16 days. This time around I was diagnosed with bipolar II disorder. After this visit to the hospital, it was decided that I needed more long-term treatment, so on May 14th I went to a residential treatment center. I was there until October 9th, almost 5 months. When I got to go home, I felt amazing. I felt like a new person. I felt like I was finally going to have everything under control. But at the end of November, I was hospitalized again. I was there for 19 days. After this hospital visit, we moved. We moved to a different state, and I went from a school that had only about 400 students to one with more than 2,500. There were so many adjustments I had to make, and in January I ended up in the hospital once again. In February things got rough again, and I almost went inpatient again, but due to the circumstances, I didn't. Then on March 23rd I attempted an overdose. I went from plans and thoughts to actions. It was completely impulsive. I just did it. I'd been feeling numb, empty, disconnected, and just overall bad, and that day I had access to my pills, and I did it. I was taken to the ER and once stable to a hospital like the other ones. This time I was there for 10 days. This journey has taught me so much, and I am so thankful to be here. Despite everything that has happened, I am hopeful. Hopeful because I know recovery is possible and living a healthy life despite mental illness is possible. There are so many people who are living proof of it, and one day I'll be living proof too. Some people just need more help than others, and some people need more time because each person is different and unique. I am still in the process, and that's okay. I'm still working on getting better, but I'm trying and I'm fighting, and I'm not giving up anymore. I am an endurer of life. Life is not always easy. Sometimes you have to endure the pain of today so you can enjoy the beauty of tomorrow, because it will pass. This pain won't last forever. I am freeing myself from the chains holding me back. I will no longer give in to the demons. I know some of you know a different struggle, a different demon, but I want you to know that it can get better. Giving up can never be an option. If you feel like you're at that point, don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help. You don't have to face this alone. Without help, your journey will be so much more dark and so much more difficult. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it shows you're brave and want to get better. No matter what your struggle is, don't give up. And if you know someone who is battling a mental illness, give them a helping hand. Show them that you care. I've realized I want to start living. Truly living. I want to do so much, and I have so many dreams and goals. But in order to reach them, I must take care of myself and be healthy. Along the way, there will be bad days, but it will be worth it, and I know I can beat the bad. I challenge you to ask for help if you're struggling. Help someone you know needs it, and start living. Not just going through the motions of life, but truly living. I hope you take the challenge. I hope you find your passion, your purpose, your motivation in life. It's time. It's time you start loving who you are. It's time to take the stigma against mental illnesses down. It's time to start living. Truly living.